All right, guys. So, welcome to the FItBanker Challenge. The theme of this info session is basically called Redefining Success. And I'm going to share that with you. First of all, Happy New Year for those of you, and congratulations for those of you that have signed up to the challenge January 2018. January is a great time to be in action and get in action in the area of health. And it's great to join and invite people to join you on your journey. So this is an extract from our slide. We had another webinar earlier this week on talking about New Year's and launching 2018. We say it's New Year, but what really will be new? It's a beautiful quote by Hilary DePiano. She's a author and playwright. She says, "We all get the exact same 365 days. The only difference is what we do with them." And I really want to acknowledge all of you guys that have signed up, right? One or a couple of you may be doing this again, right? And that's perfectly fine because our brain, the way our brain works is we need to continually be reminded about stuff. I need a schedule. I need a timetable. I need a diary. I need to have some form of reminders for me to do stuff. The mind isn't designed to store stuff. I could actually a lot of my posts on Facebook give away a lot of our FItBanker Challenge content because that piece of information will go out there and it doesn't get stored and make a difference. What makes the difference is regular structure, reminder, being inside of an entity that causes this shift. And that's what we provide on the FItBanker Challenge. So what we're going to do is we are going to support you through your 90 days and keep giving you insights, information, and knowledge and tools that you can take. And then we will keep checking in with you. I'll talk a bit more about how this goes, but on that theme about redefining success is a quote by Arianna Huffington, which is, "Success is commonly defined as money and power, but increasingly that's not enough. It's almost like a two-legged stool where you fall over if that's all you measure life by." And she got reminded of that firsthand when she had a health scare, overworking long hours till she collapsed, fell on her face, and she broke her cheekbone and her jaw. And she had blood all over her face, and she was rushed to hospital. And then she realized there's a big missing ingredient in success. And that is what she calls the third leg of this stool, which included well-being. And well-being is the one that we neglect. And what we want to do is to focus on that so that you truly are successful, right? Whatever you do in your life as a busy mom, as a dad, as an entrepreneur, as a daughter, as a son, as a sister, as a brother, whatever you do, you are as an entrepreneur, a teacher, whatever it is, remember how many lives bank on you being fit. You need to be at your optimal self to really make a difference and impact in all that you do. So we need to start shifting our relationship to our body. We need to start shifting our relationship to our body to one which understands that it is a vehicle and it is not this thing that we think we just put food in and use to expend energy. We need to relate to it as a vehicle we have to take care of to transform our lives. And to share that, I'm going to share with you my journey from FatBanker to FItBanker and how I learned that the hard way. So some of you may know this, some of you don't, but it's just great to kind of really understand why I have a very, very deep interest in this program and why my commitment to you is there. It matters that you understand where I've come from. So I spent about 12 years of career in banking and finance, had quite an international career, jet setting around. I spent some time in New York. I worked here in London. I worked in the Channel Islands. I worked in Zambia. I worked in Kenya. And while I worked in all these places, I really did a lot of travel. I worked long hours. I got a lot of opportunity to eat out, party out, drink out. It's what I thought was success. And while we had while I had a great time there, and I'm very grateful for that career, it provided me and afforded me a lot. It wasn't something that was a sustainable lifestyle. And I learned the hard way. Over a period of time living that lifestyle, what turned out was this guy, and I was effectively the fat banker. And as a fat banker, I was really piling it on. I had gone up to 108 kilos. And don't get me wrong, I still was somebody that was really up to life, and I did a lot of things when I was 100 kilos. I did Kilimanjaro. And I also used to just enjoy going out, and I was somewhat okay with myself, but I used to disguise my lack of self-love or my lack of confidence underneath this sense of humor, or I would be able to disguise what I was insecure about underneath, say, a great title, or I work for a bank, or a bank balance. And I thought that is what made a difference, and that's what made me confident in what I do. But then, while I was living that lifestyle and thinking that I had it all, in 2012 we got married. In 2013, 9 months after our marriage, we were up in Edinburgh at what's called the Fringe Festival. My wife and I, we were celebrating being newly married. We were celebrating her birthday that was coming up that August, and we were also 3 months pregnant. And there I was as a banker, beautiful wife, beautiful future, baby on the way. Life was amazing, and I thought it couldn't get any better. And I thought that was success. But while we were there, everything took a 180-degree turn as we had a miscarriage, and we lost our baby. And we lost it, on or about the day before or after my wife's birthday, 9 months into our marriage. And it was a really, really painful and piercing moment for us all. And she was breaking down, and I was breaking down, and I was breaking down more and getting angry that she was breaking down. And it was very stressful because it was a situation just hard to control. You have your heart and soul in this tummy of a baby and a future that you anticipate, and in a matter of days it gets pulled out from under you and you lose it. And as a result of that stress, and the following day, the train ride home, what happened was I ended up hospitalized. I had these heart palpitations. I was stressing out, and I thought I will just do some deep breathing and I will sleep and I will be okay in the morning. And Ambika immediately flips and she goes, "There's no way I'm waking up tomorrow having lost another one." And I lived a life where my health, and some of you may experience this, where you relate to your body and sometimes you have these symptoms or these aches, or I've got heartburn or acid or whatever you may call it. Those are signs. Your body is a messaging system. Your body is equipped. If you have something like eczema or psoriasis, or if you have blood in your stool, or if you have acne, or if you have things like hair loss, if you have things like you're putting on weight uncontrollably, your body is a phenomenal signaling system. Your body is designed to message you, to say something is not wrong on the inside. And this was my message. And she immediately called the ambulance, and that evening I ended up spending in hospital. And I was there. There was a host of pins and pricks and needles and pipes going in me, and patches being attached to me. They carried out an ECG stress test. They carried out various tests on me. I had to go in the following days. They took various blood samples. And all this time, Ambika was sat next to me on this chair. And through the night, I'm tired. We've had a long train ride home, about 6-7 hour train ride, because it got delayed on the way. On top of that, we're just down emotionally because of the news. And she sat there on the chair next to me all night. She doesn't get provided a bed, and she's dozing off. And I'm looking at her knocked out on the chair, and I'm thinking, you know what? I really don't want this. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that uncle. And I know many of them, and many of you would know many family members or parents or yourselves may have gone through this, where you are very often, more often than not, in hospital. I want you to know this. It's not normal to be in hospital once a year. It's not normal to be in hospital once in 3 years, once in 4 years, once in 10 years. I went into hospital for this, and I haven't been in since, or admitted for anything of the nature. This is not normal. We can take ownership and control of our body. And I got clear for myself that the future Ronnie, or Ronak I was going to be, was not going to be a dad that was continually stopped from doing what fulfilled me, or living my life, or what gave me a living, because I was in hospital. I was slowed down in the impact I could make out there as an entrepreneur. I was unwilling to be stopped because I couldn't take care of my body and my vehicle. And so I knew that that's the person I didn't want to be. And the second thing I knew very clear for myself is that I could do something about it. And I began researching various diets. I began researching various concepts around nutrition. I began studying various health programs. I took on all kinds of exercise. I started running. I did boot camps. I joined a gym. I did the gym classes. And I tried everything I thought that it was. And a lot of them worked. Many of them worked. A lot of them caused me injury, because when you're overweight, as an example, and you do the exercise that doesn't work for your weight, you can cause great injury to your knee joints, to various joints. Like running has damaged my knee, and I still live with that damage. And I don't want people to go the wrong way or go through getting injury, or even waste time doing it inefficiently. So having learned the hard way, and as I was doing this, I said a way that's going to keep me accountable is I'm going to share with people my journey on Facebook. I don't know what got into me, but I just chose to share. It was uncomfortable to share it, but you know what? The more I shared, the more I stayed in action. The more I shared, the more people saw, the more they commented, the liked, the more I was driven to stay in action. So I found, wow, my brain is driven by sharing my journey. My brain, I then began to see people commenting, asking questions. And the more I did that, the more weight I lost. And I reached a point where within a month, I was losing consistently 5.5 kilos. And this was for 3 months in a row. I was able to do this. And then while I was doing this, I was now so confident about my formula and my methodology. I wasn't fully in shape. I wasn't fully chiseled. But then one day on Facebook, I see these three entrepreneurs, multi-millionaire entrepreneurs. And what they do was they post their before photo, say, hey, we're doing it. It was January 2015. So exactly 3 years ago, round about this time, 3 years ago, they posted their photo saying, hey, we're doing a 90-day body transformation program. Who's in? And the three of them did the photos. A few other people posted, and I said, I'm in. And I became like the fourth person. Everybody else that posted their photo fell away when they didn't start seeing results. And that could happen to anybody on this program. You could start and then you could fizzle out. But you don't fizzle out if you have a support structure of people, if you have weekly webinars to show up to, if you have a team and a coach like myself to support you. And that's what we're going to do over the next 90 days. That's how I'm going to support you. And that's how you have a community around you to keep you accountable. But the way you get your community to support you is by you interacting with and contributing to and sharing with the community. So what I did was I posted my before photos, and 90 days later, this is it. I posted the photos on the left, 90 days later, I get this on the right. I focused more, not on weight, but I focused on body composition, which means we now have the tools and the technology and the scales that will tell us and show us what we're made of. So what are we made of in terms of fat percentage, right? And there I was at 86 kilos. I'd come down from 108. So I was already about 20 kilos down, 22 kilos down. And after that, I lost more, and I went on to 76.5 or 75.9 was per se at my lightest and my leanest. But what I focused on was fat percentage. I went from about 30 to 35% likely. I didn't fully measure at my lowest point, down to 11.3% fat. And so that means not 11.3, down to 11.3 at the end of day 90, but after that it continued to go down, and I went down to 5.9%. So if you look at my Facebook profile photo, I was there about 5.96% body fat, and that's what was possible using the science, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys of what it will take to do that. And I want all of you to know that, all of you guys that are listening to this on the recording, those of you that have joined live, Preeti, well done joining live. People like Az, he has an amazing, I can tell you his body type, he can cause some phenomenal results. Bijal, again, equally physically fit, has got strength, has got stamina, can do this. Rashmi, you just need to look at your old photos and really get connected to what you are. Suzanne, you've done the program before. I really, really, really want you to get connected to your drive and pep and what you have inside you. And you are somebody that has strength in you. And what you want to do is now just shift your body composition and stay in the game, bring a different level of participation, and just give up any other opinions. This is for all of us. Anyone else on the program that's doing this, the few more of you, the few more joining, Joe as well, staying in the game, staying, and discovering the moments that have you pull yourself out of action, right? Your old ways of being. Guys, nothing changes if nothing changes, and you have seen the results of prior participants. Some of you have joined because you know somebody who's done this, and you're like, wow, Poonam lost 10 kilos in 90 days, or Harish lost 17 kilos in 90 days. How is that possible? It's possible from very, very simple science and education and around understanding your body, understanding nutrition, understanding your mindset, and getting that you are somebody that people bank on you to be fit. Keep remembering why you're doing this. That's going to keep you going. So that was the birth of FItbanker. I'd never planned this. Now, something may come out for each of you guys. Each of you might transform your health, and I'm going to punch an idea in the air. As an example, as has a business which makes phenomenal desserts. My contribution and commitment to Az is he could do this program. He could learn a lot about nutrition and healthy eating, and then he can start taking his desserts to become healthier, low sugar, high protein foods. And as he creates that, it will be amazing for him to share his journey that he took on the FItbanker challenge. He transformed himself, and from there was inspired to start this healthy eating dessert brand, as an example. So you guys should check him out. He's got a brand called Osco and Butler, OSKO and Butler, BUTLER, on Instagram. See some of the amazing foods that they make. But you can now see that with his education, he can now launch a whole host of healthy eating, and we can impact more lives as a result of him doing that. So let me show you what we focus on. We don't focus on body image. I just did a post about that. The first most important thing is to really love yourself. We don't focus on body image. We focus on health. And here are some of the amazing results doing this program to see what's possible. This is a doctor, Diksha Patel from San Francisco. Doctors know the stuff. They have the knowledge. They understand how the body works. However, the medical system is designed as something that strains and stretches the daily doctor's routine. And we go there, when we go to a doctor, they're designed to fix a breakdown. They fix a tear. They fix a broken bone. They fix a damaged gut or a poorly functioning heart. They fix the symptoms. And what we're doing is we want to educate you so that you can bring this into your own house and do it, right? And you don't need a dependency on medication. She did our program as a doctor, and she lost 9.1 kilos, and she gets to be this lean, amazing, fit mom. Then there's this guy, Andrew Walker. He does it, and he loses about, what did he lose in the end? About 26 or something pounds, and or 30-something pounds. And then he gets to discover his confidence and passion, and he's gone into acting. And now he does. He is an actor on one of the musicals, I think Priscilla. And this is Ellie. She's another actor, and she also does stage musicals. And she lost up in 90 days. She lost 11.3, but overall she's lost 20 kilos. So some people ask, what happens after day 90? Well, if you keep up the lifestyle, you continue to get the results. And she's now 20 kilos lighter, and she's part of the FItbanker team. So she does help us at events, and she does also help us with some graphic design work. These are what I call the fit doctors. These guys are both doctors. On the left is them in 2015. They go around the US. They drive. They came here for a TED talk to London, and somebody connected them to me to say, if you're going to London, you must meet this guy called FItbanker. And so people think FItbanker is the name of the business, not really me, but each of you are FItbankers. But anyway, they reached out to me. They came for a TED talk, and these guys used to drive around the US, and they're giving people talks on health and how to prioritize men's health. They're both urologists, so they talk about men's health issues. Anyway, they go around doing this, but they didn't look the job of a symbol of health ambassadors. They met me, I explained the science to them, they took on a few of the tips, and they transformed. And after they transformed, they get to look like the guys on the right. Cedro, the guy on the left, he lost 53 pounds, and Jamie, the other guy, lost about 35, 36 pounds. And that is them in June 2016, looking like models of their work. So that's what I'm saying is my commitment to you is, Preeti, whoever you are, as a family person, as an entrepreneur, or you work, or whatever you do, I want you to be successful in what you do. I want Bijal to be successful in what he does, and to really be around long term for what he does. I want Rashmi to be phenomenally successful in what she does. I want Suzanne to be our poster girl, right? That's what I want of each of you guys. I want Joe to be that. I want Az to be that. Az will be this designer protein confectioner. I mean, I don't know, guys. My commitment is that you get to be the best in what you do. I deal with the vehicle, and I support you and give you the education to take it on and transform and inspire lives. Some people ask us, can vegans do this? This is one of our vegan models. This is Rebecca. She lost 15. I think she went on to lose 17 kilos. She inspired a whole vegan community to join and be part of it. But my favorite stories are these three. This one is Manisha Vaidya. She is somebody who, having a baby, she got gestational diabetes. It then turned into being pre-diabetic. And from pre-diabetic, she was now on insulin jabs and everything. And she was being told she'll be termed type 2 diabetes. You see, a disease, guys, all of us have inside us what's called disease, or what's called certain cells, or a certain amount of sugar, a certain amount of cancerous cells. When they cross a certain number, that's when the medical system looks at that number and they say, oh, you're in this range, it's called a disease. When your heart rate goes up to a certain number, over that number, it's called dis-ease, which means lack of ease. Similarly, that was what was happening to her. She had a certain level of sugar, and to counter that, her body has a certain level of insulin to suppress that. And when the insulin stops functioning or doing its role, you have to externally take insulin. And that's called diabetes. And she was being diagnosed with that. And I told her to do my program. And she goes, I can't. You don't know how much I have to pay for healthcare and medical and medicine. And I said, what if you could save that money? You know, you people have made a big investment in this program, right? It's not throwaway money, but your life is not a throwaway life as well. So you need to treat yourself. You need to invest in you. And if you look at what you will save on the lack of great health, the program basically becomes for free. She was going to be spending thousands a year on medication. She does the program, and within the first month, she notices results. She goes back for a test, and the doctor said, this doesn't look normal. Your sugar's disappeared. They had to test her again. They called her in for another blood sample. They said, wow, it's shifted. What have you been doing? So she carries on with the FItbanker challenge, and 3 months later, that's what turns out on the right. She lost about 14, 15 kilos, and she was then told she's no longer diabetic, she's not even pre-diabetic, and she is perfectly normal. And previously she was being told she won't be around for her 3 kids, and now she is around. This is Ushma. This is somebody who was told she's overweight and that she cannot, she was struggling to conceive, to have babies. It happens when you're overweight. It's one of the things that gets in the way of fertility and our chances of conceiving. And so she was told the only way was via IVF route. So they had the first baby many years before she had put on a lot more weight via IVF. She was still slightly overweight then. They were trying for their second child and they were struggling. The IVF clinic now refused to take them on because she was still overweight. Anyway, she does our program, and she tried everything for a whole year, and she lost 3 kilos trying diet pills, suppressing food, not eating enough. You know, we eat a lot of food, but we eat quality food. And by doing that, she didn't lose much. She lost only 3 kilos. After losing 3 kilos, the IVF clinic still refused to take her on. She comes to us. We say, do the program. Within 10 weeks, she had lost 10.8 kilos. She does the program. She was approved then to start the IVF process. Before the end of the program, so within 90 days, she went from struggling to be a mom to conceiving to her successfully going through the IVF process. And what's bonus is she got twins instead of 1 baby. That's a phenomenal miracle. Now, what's more to that is because they were told that they will never be able to have kids naturally, they always have to go the IVF route. After she's had her twins, and that was last year, I went to see the twins earlier this year, I went to see the twins in June, and she didn't know this, but 2 months later in August, she messages me and she goes, Ronnie, I must tell you this. We were told we can't conceive naturally, so we weren't doing protection. I'm now pregnant for a 4th time, and it's the first time naturally. So for a 4th child. So they have now had their 4th baby, which is amazing, 4th girl. And it's simply awesome. And so we're not just life transforming. I can joke and say we're life giving. And that is one of my most awesome stories. We make family. And this is my old man, it's my dad. On day 1 of his program, he came here on holiday thinking it was going to be a sit back, eat, sleep, chill, relax holiday. Instead, day 2, we went to the gym. I got them to understand what body composition is. I got to tell them how much their fat is. Dad had about 40% fat in him. My mom was 43%. Dad was about 30 something. I explained what that means to their organs. I explained to them what that means to their joints and how much of an extra load they're getting on. He starts our program at the age of 70. He's lived all his 60s on high cholesterol and high BP medication. Does our program, begins to walk every day. He never walked more than 2 or 3 kilometers a day because he drove around everywhere and he sat on the couch. He now walks up to 6 or 7 kilometers a day, and he is now 21 kilos lighter. He is, this is just within 90 days, these photos, but he went on to lose a lot more. He's now 69 kilos at the age of 72. And a year ago, a year and a half ago, he's been asked by the doctor's medical system to get off his high BP medication, get off his high cholesterol medication, and now he is disease free. He's living an easy life. And what's a bonus is he had a lot of psoriasis as well, and that has also disappeared. You can also see a change in his posture. In the first one, his back is arching with a heavy stomach, and the second one is a lot more upright. So, there are a lot of things that come as a result. Now, we don't just coach on your physical muscle. We do coach you over this program. You get to develop other muscles, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual as well. What do we mean by mental? We will give you the technical knowledge to understand the science. Many of us are analytical minds. We want to understand how exactly does fat break down and burn. Our emotional muscle, there is a connection between you stressing out in your marriage, or you stressing out in your job because it's too busy, or your business, you're rushing to pay bills or wages or deal with the accountants, and that's causing emotional stress. And when that causes emotional stress, it fills and creates a surge in your body of a hormone called cortisol. When that makes you stress, it pushes up your blood sugar, which then crashes, which then makes you consume sugar, which then triggers what we call a sugar spiral, and then you begin to pile on the kilos. And then there's the spiritual muscle, right? So the spiritual is, I asked you all to say, get very clear, and Preeti, you've posted your before photo, but if you go to that photo, you can edit the wording and just retype the wording, which is, what is your why that this matters? So as you're on this webinar, Preeti, tell me, what is your why? Why are you doing this challenge?
Uh, Actually, from so long, I tried so many diets and so many, but I never exercised.
Mm-hmm.
But all my friends, I mean, elder to me or younger to me, all are very thin and
Okay.
very, fit
Yep.
in the sense they are very active and all. Even I am active, but I feel myself very complex in front of them. I
Okay.
feel very complex because I inside I am feeling that what I'm doing with my body, I'm not taking care what I'm doing. I eat everything healthy and I eat outside also, but I could not manage my body to as per my choice. It went on and on. So I now it is an alarming bell for me,
Got it.
and more of it is I feel very complex in
Okay.
my group.
Amazing. So when you say complex, you mean what? You feel inferior?
Yeah. I feel that I'm so young, but my body is not young.
Okay. So how young are you?
I'm 41.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. And this is a perfect time to be investing in your health. Anytime is a perfect time, right? So you will thank
Yes.
your 60-year-old self will thank your 40-year-old self, 41-year-old self for doing this. We have also what's called a biological age, which means once you alter your body composition,
Yes.
your body gets a certain composition, which the certain scales can give you what's called your biological age. And as
Yeah.
an example,
That is showing me 55 years of age.
you see, so currently your biological age is showing as 55.
Yes.
Correct. Now, you know what? We can get that biological age into your 30s, even into your 20s at 41, right? So I want you to remember that, and I want everybody else that's listening in on the recording to remember that. You can go and find a scale that gives you a biological age, and we can bring that back to a phenomenal number. So, people think I'm aging, passage of time. No, you're not. You get to choose every 17 days to 35 days, depending on which organs in your body, you get to renew your body. New cells, the old cells die and new cells think. So you actually reinvent yourself about 2.5 to 3 times over the 90-day program. Your whole body gets to replace itself. There are some organs that actually take longer to renew. I think it's the liver or something. But generally speaking, your whole body has a number of cells that die away and new ones come in. So what's going to fuel and build the new ones coming in is going to be what we eat. What's going to get rid of the waste from our body is going to be how we uh, take out that waste, right? How, whether it goes out through what's called our lymph gland system, our lymphatic system, or or through exercise, the expenditure and the breakdown of the structure of the cells and the fat in our body to release that. And that's what we're going to do by simply very basic habits that we have incorporated in this program. So Preeti, I want you to, so long you promise to do your part, which is take on the habits we invite you to take on, we'll do our part. Your results are guaranteed so long you play your part. Okay?
Okay.
So really looking forward to it. And whenever you struggle with something, reach out to the community, reach out to us, ask some questions, and we'll be there to support you. All right. And you can always, share on that chat. And I've now added you to campus since you posted your photo. But going forward, ask questions on the campus because there's a larger community of people there, including former, including the doctors who've done the program, gastroenterologists, naturopaths. There's another nutritionist who's not done our program, but she's also there. But there are people there to support you and respond to any questions or queries you may have. Okay.
Sure.
So your greater why is what? Can you word that? And do you have any family?
Sorry, I could not hear you.
Sorry, do you have any family as well?
Yes.
So who banks on your life? Tell me who that is.
My children.
Uh-huh.
My son is 16 years old,
Okay.
and my daughter is 13 years.
Okay.
And I see them growing. I want to see them grow very healthily and happily.
Okay.
So as well, I also want to, become healthy and fit for them as an example, to set an example.
Okay.
So right now, I don't have any major health issues, but I don't want any health issues to be around me. So I want to be fit and healthy. That's all.
Okay, awesome. There's one slide I've just remembered now, which is missing from today's webinar, but I will share that with you. In addition to the greater why, right, you're doing this, psychologically, for you to have a driver is to know to aspire for some sort of end result. So do you work or are you in business or what do you do?
I do run a daycare center at my home in Dubai.
Okay, got it. Okay, so I want you to get something about you and who you can be for your kids as an inspiration at the age of 41. I'm going to plant this idea with you, but allow the idea to sink in your mind and think about it. And you can come and tell us later what you choose. You have to see a future self of you that you don't recognize now. So an idea I can offer you is in November, end of November, beginning of December, we are going to Kilimanjaro, right? At 41, you can do that. I don't know if you'll be 42 then or if you'll be 41. But if you know psychologically in your mind, oh my God, I'm climbing Kilimanjaro in 9 months or 10 months, as an example, you get inspired to be in action at a very different level than if you're not, right? And you don't need to be an athlete fit to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. You'll see the photos and results of the last participants that did Kilimanjaro. One of our record holders from female, she was 113 kilos when she signed up to our program, and she lost 20 kilos. She was 93 kilos by the time we flew out to Tanzania. And now she's just a whole new person because psychologically in her, she doesn't relate to people as, oh, you guys are fitter than me. She relates to herself and other people as, I did Mount Kilimanjaro and I am able to do whatever I put my mind to. So think about that as an option, and we can talk about that at a later point if that's something. But have what's called a carrot dangling. Have a carrot dangling, a big why for you to do this. Now, what's going to cause results in this program? All of you, you can choose to join a gym. I recommend you join a gym, right? If you are not a member of a gym, join some outdoor boot camp classes, join something which has a regular level of high interval and impact activity. You remember that most of those sessions are 1 hour. Some of them might be 1 hour and a half a day, right? What do you do for the other 23 hours? That's what matters. The reason why most people, there is an increase in obesity globally, but there's also an increase in the number of gyms. So while the number of gyms are on the rise, why is obesity increasing? The reason is most of us are not looking at what we're doing for the other 23 hours, right? And so this is what we get to, where we want to empower you in your lifestyle. You've got to understand nutrition. You've got to understand mindset. The other things that matter are things like your rest, your sleep, your pace of your day, right? Our mind going through stresses in the day, Europe, the UK, the Western, the developed world, has got a surge in stress and increased cases of depression and so on. And that's because our minds are going to this certain place where we're making these disempowering conversations in our head that has an impact from our mental state to our physiology by the release of certain chemicals inside our body, right? So there's direct correlation between our emotional and mental state and our well-being. And we get you to understand that on this program so that you can get to transform that. Okay. Secondly, is you want to have some skin in the game, right? The reason we ask you to post your before photo is you've got to really make a declaration to your community. Right now, there are many ways you can cheat on this. There are many shortcuts you can do. We've seen them all. We have people create a fake Facebook account and then they post from that fake account because you know what? They don't have to be accountable to anybody. Or we see people say, I don't want to post. And there's also an option you can do this, and it's still an option for you guys. You can purchase what's called a privacy add-on. So you pay another £100 to not post your before photo. Can I tell you what? Those people pay us more money, but fewer of them get results. And I would love to say thanks for the money, but I'd love to say actually I'd rather cause you guys more results. And the way you cause these results is you publicly declare what you're doing. Share it to your community. A lot of you guys, right now, Preeti is the only one that's posted a before photos, and you guys might have signed up and thinking, I really want to do this. Yeah, okay, damn it, I'll post my before photo. And then what happens 2 days for the challenge to start, and you're like, oh, I can't post my before photo because you think so and so is there, and my client is there, and my former colleague is there. I tell you what, guys, I had the same issues. I was vice president at JP Morgan. I had fellow managing directors there. I had executive directors. I had fellow vice presidents there. I had clients there. You know what? I knew that if it's uncomfortable, it's the right thing to do. Ultimately, those people looking at you and judging you are influencing your life. What you do in terms of business, how you share, how you live your life, how you dress, where you eat, what you do, how you socialize, you are so under the influence of this social conditioning and fitting in. Your body has just become a byproduct of trying to conform. My invite to you guys is think about celebrities. They let themselves get captured and snapped by paparazzi on the beach, in the car, outdoors, taking out the garbage, however they look, because they have a big element of self-love. Rule number one for the FItBanker challenge is you've got to love yourself, right? You really have to love yourself. And that means post it however you feel. You will be surprised at the response. Most of us think people will laugh at us if we post our big, overweight, fat, or skinny photo. You know, some people do this program to put on weight. Bear in mind, we've had a number of those participants. However, it's not about what people will think. It's about you being okay with yourself, being clear that you're doing. If anybody would comment, laugh, taunt, or mock at you, I can promise you this: they already are thinking those things of you. However, what most people do is they think we are fat, they think we're overweight, but because of this social political correctness that we exist in, they don't come and tell you to your face to say, hey, Ronnie, I think you need to go and lose some weight. They don't say that. They eat the big halloumi wraps with you and they laugh. Maybe not with you, maybe at you at that moment. But that's the world. Now, when you post something, you're either giving them permission to now tell you, I'll support you in your weight loss journey, right? That's what I found out when I posted my before photo. Another guy that does this is Muhammad Ali. He did the same. He makes these big declarations. Yes, he was an entertainer. Yes, he was an athlete. Yes, he was a boxer. But the science is the same. You guys are you're in the world of being a mom are an athlete. You in the world of making desserts are an athlete. You in the world of coaching people on self-love or sexual desire or whatever it is you choose to do as a participant on this program, what you do in your own world, you are an athlete in that area, right? So you need to be operating with this kind of a mindset, which is you make that declaration of what you're doing, who you are for this world, and then you go do it. Muhammad Ali's quote, I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was. Next is community and support. Guys, psychologically, emotionally, we all wake up certain days thinking, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? I have this on many days when I wake up and I think, man, I could just go to banking and I just have to show up 9 to 5 and I'll get a beautiful salary. And I don't have to stress about paying my rent or my mortgage or raising my kid. Everything was figured and sorted for me. But now I wake up in business and I have to think about this. I need to have clients join. I need to support the staff. I need to pay contractors. I need to pay for my software. I need to pay for licenses. I need to pay for the graphic designer. I need to pay for this webinar to run, right? And we go through our emotions, but the way we get to act in the face of that is to use a support structure, a support community, right? That's what the FItbanker campus is. That's what all of you guys as teammates are for each other. So when you are wondering at any point in time, what on earth is this community doing for me? The question is, you have to ask, what are you doing for them? Because when you play for the community, they play for you. It's a quote by Jim Rohn: you are the average of the 5 people you spend most time with. Think about this, guys. We have people here on this program from Dubai. We have some who'll be joining from the US. We have some, many from the UK. We have people who've done this from Africa, from Australia, from New Zealand, from India, from all over the world, right? I've done this program from about 17 countries now. And they all are there on campus. And you can't spend physically time with them, but with technology and social media, we can interact with them, we can meet with them, and they get to support us. And we are the average of those people we hang around with. If you look at your immediate circle of friends, if you want to alter something, always look at 2 things: your environment and the people you hang out with. If you're in an environment that is disempowering you, like your work area, your relationship, maybe the country, the town, the weather that you're in, that doesn't support you, change the environment. Number 2, change the people. Now, I'm not saying ditch your friends that you hang out with. I'm saying make new friends in this online community that are up to the same goals and aspirations as you are, right? The friends that you go to hang out with have a different body type to you, and they might want to go out because they please their identity in eating out every so often at lush, beautiful restaurants. But you have a different goal, right? So you might not have to go there. You might want to go and have a smoothie. You might want to go meet up with them and socialize, but maybe you're going to eat something healthy before you go, right? I don't know, right? You have to discover what is slowing you down in your world. 4th one is goal setting and planning, right? Goal setting and planning. I'm not asking you guys to make an elaborate, complex goal plan of how the next 90 days will roll out. If you want to, you can. But all I'm asking you to do is it's as simple as this. If you write something down that you will do, you have a 40% increased likelihood of that actually happening. What I mean by that is, if you simply on a Sunday pull out your diary, or today you go to your gym app or website and you book in all the classes for body pump that happen, say, Thursday morning at 7 a.m., or you book in all the Friday evening yoga classes, or you book in all the spinning classes at lunchtime in the gym in your office at work. If you book those in, by scheduling them in, by writing them down, they're more likely to happen than not. So as simple as that. If you make an agreement with yourself and you put in your diary that every morning for 30 minutes, we will go and walk for 30 minutes in the morning, or 20 minutes. And every evening after supper, after I've had my last meal, I'll go and walk for 25 minutes. If you just write that down or put a time slot on your phone, in your calendar, in your diary, you have an increased likelihood of doing that. And so that's how simple goal setting and planning is. Just plan your day that way. If you're going to work, you normally get off at a stop right near your office. Get off 1 stop earlier. If you're coming back from work, get off 1 stop or 2 stops earlier. If you normally take the bus for a 5-minute ride or a 7-minute ride, walk it instead, right? You'll be surprised sometimes how buses take longer than walking. I found that out now, because between where I stay and the cafe I work at, it takes 20 minutes to go on bus, or it takes 15 minutes or 12 minutes walking. So that's what you can create. The 5th one is accountability. Now, what do we mean by accountability? It's now January 2018, and January in the UK, there's a guy called the Taxman, or it's called HMRC, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. And every January, if you earn a certain income in employment above £100,000, or if you are in business, you have to complete what's called a tax return, a self-assessment return. And for you to complete that, you need to basically tell them all the income you earned and all the expenditure you've had, and based on that, you have to make a certain tax payment. And I thought to myself, wow, I will do whatever it takes. Usually it happens on 31st January. I'm working late at night on the website trying to post this. And I'm like, how on earth will I do this if, well, why on earth am I doing this for the taxman? And I account to the taxman about my monies. That's none of, I wish I could say it's none of their business, but it is their business. But why am I accountable to them, but I'm not accountable to my own body, my own vehicle? And what I mean by that is I don't account to my own body the amount of energy or calories put in and the amount of calories put out. So the way I can bring about that accountability is we use a number of apps, but this is two of them. So I want all of you guys to do this. Take note of this and take a screenshot of this if you can, Preeti. So take a screenshot or picture or save this slide down, which is
Sure.
on. I'll start off with the bottom app first, MyFitnessPal, right? That one is. Sorry, Preeti, were you saying something?
Just hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, Ronnie. Yes, it's done.
Okay, perfect. So MyFitnessPal is an app where you get to record your food. All right. In there, you need to go there to settings, and under settings, you set your profile up. So download the app called MyFitnessPal on your phone. Then go and as you open the app for the first time, it will ask you to enter things like your age, your current weight, your target weight. So whatever your target weight is, it was sent to you in the email in the questionnaire. You have to note what your target weight was, put that in. Then you have to go to another setting under settings. It's called nutrition and macro goals. On there, you want to change it. It usually defaults to 20% protein, 30% fat, and 50% carbs. You want to change that to 30% protein, 30% fat, and 40% carbs. And in your diary, there's a section under settings called diary. You go to settings, then you go to diary settings, and then go to diary sharing and change that to public. What that does is when you add me as a friend, I can look at your diary at what you're eating. And once you have recorded food in there, all your meals for 5 days, I can look at your diary and I can give you some feedback. And what you have to do is go under friends and under friends, search for FItbanker, one word, FItbanker. And when you search for it, add me as a friend. I will get the request on MyFitnessPal. I will accept you. You can see what I eat. I can see what you eat, right? And every day you just record your food. There's an option to scan food. There's an option to search for it. There's an option to type it in from the label of the packaging of the food you had, or search it from a database if it's things that didn't come in labeled packaging. Take on the assignments that we offer. We will have some assignments where we ask you to look out for something on MyFitnessPal. We'll give you certain challenges each week at the end of the webinars, and also share what you're doing and taking on out there. The other thing is, now when you're spending energy, right, you are a vehicle that has energy coming in and energy going out. So you download an app called Runkeeper, and on Runkeeper, that's the app you're going to use to record your activities, right? So there's a button. You have to switch on the GPS button so that when you're walking outdoors, it will map your route. If that works for you to share that, you can share that, but at least it will record your activity and track your distance. You have an option to share to Facebook and Twitter when you do some activity. That way, the more you share that you're in action, the more you will be in action. Again, add us as FItbanker. Then, this is an important point. It's not on the slide here, but there's a setting under Runkeeper called Connected Apps and Devices, or under Settings, there's a section called Apps and Devices. So I'll say this again. On Runkeeper, you go to a section called Settings. Under Settings, there's a section called Apps and Devices. So it tells you which other apps or devices it's connected to. Over there, you search for or add the app called MyFitnessPal. That way, you will sync the two. Between Runkeeper and MyFitnessPal, they get connected. And when you go to MyFitnessPal, you can double check there under settings if there's also an option for you to connect to Runkeeper. Sometimes the apps have you connect them both sides, but if not, you should be able to do it from Runkeeper alone. And once you connect them, then any activity that you do on Runkeeper will feed into MyFitnessPal. And when it feeds into MyFitnessPal, I will explain to you on webinar 1 how to monitor recording of your calories in, calories out, and how to effectively lose weight. So we will talk about that next week on webinar 1 on Thursday next week, 7:30 p.m. Okay. The sixth one is, in addition to knowing what causes results, you have to know what will stop you from causing results. So this is a very important one for a lot of you that have signed up to this program. You're naturally driven people. You're great as entrepreneurs. You're great in your careers. You're great in business. You might be the competitive sibling of your kids. You are people that are up to stuff. It's why you signed up to this program. It's why you posted your before photo. It's why you do what you do in life. But also there is a downside to that achiever's mindset. It's called being an achiever. The downside is when things don't go your way, right? There was a question in your there was a question sent to you in your questionnaire, which is what do you do when things don't go your way or you don't get the results you want to? What we tend to do is we either get angry, we get stroppy, we don't listen. Sometimes what we do is we take ourselves off our performance, right? So we self-sabotage. This program, I'm not looking for you people to bring perfection as you think perfection is. I'm not expecting you to go to the gym every day. If you go every day, it will work against you. You will stress about it. So you're going to go to the gym. We're going to send you an email on Saturday morning, and on there it will lay out the foundation of how this program works. And you're going to begin by going to the gym. You'll walk every day, at least do some form of cardio activity every day, because if you eat every day, you should also spend it every day. But you need to walk a certain amount. You need to do either walk, swim, or run, right? So, or bike a certain amount a day, 40 to 60 minutes. And it doesn't have to be all at once. But gym, you can go at least 4 days a week. That's all you need, at least 4 days. And if you don't go on a certain day or a week, or if you don't record your food on those apps and you think, oh, I haven't done it for 3 or 4 days, I can't catch up, forget catching up. Just start off from today. Time is an illusion, right? Updating what you ate 3 days ago doesn't matter. Just start today. Because when we don't do it perfectly, what we do is we trash ourselves. We throw ourselves off the program. And then we're stuck. And then things aren't shifting for us. So my invite to you guys is to not punish yourself when you don't do it properly by design. So if this is something that happens to you, if you're familiar with this kind of pattern, catch yourself doing that. And ultimately, what's going to keep causing results is developing others, right? And what we're doing is, as FItBanker, our ultimate commitment is developing leaders. What we want is that each of our participants become health leaders out there. So Preeti, you become a health leader in your family. You inspire your kids, you inspire your husband, you inspire cousins, you inspire your community there. Those same friends that made you feel inferior, you inspire them and they'll come to you. Believe you me, they will come to you because I was the fat guy in my group. I was the fat banker nobody would listen to around walking or running or anything. I knew nothing. Remember, I've started properly running at the age of 35, right? The age of 34, 35. Prior to that, I just didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't run a kilometer without stopping to breathe and walk. So I want all of you to know that you have no idea who and how you will be in 90 days if you play this program by design. So for once in your life, I'm asking you for 12 weeks and 6 days, which is 90 days, play with me. Do this game as it's designed. Show up on webinars, guys. Show up on webinars. You're only your word. Our commitment is developing leaders, and this is an example, I think, that best demonstrates what leadership is. Tough Mudder is this obstacle course race, and there's a challenge called it's called the pyramid scheme. And what you do is you go below and you lift people above you, and that's how the FItBanker challenge works. I've done the program before, and I lift people above me to go and discover or access how it works, the tools and resources. They go on top and they lift the next person, and they lift the next person. And when you get to the top, you find there are already people above you that have done this before. And when they're at the top, you become one of them, you turn around and uplift others. So that's our commitment. This is why and how we're growing, and this is how and why we invite you to invite people to join you on the program. as mentioned, there's an opportunity. If you have somebody that would like to join, if you're doing this program the first time, or you've done this program before by design, if you're doing the first time, you refer anybody, 10% of what they pay as a sign-up fee goes to you. And they also are entitled to that. So meaning if they sign up somebody else, they also will get 10% for them signing somebody else in their life up. But if you've done the program by design, and just listen to this carefully, if at the end of 90 days, you guys get phenomenal results, meaning you cause the results you want to cause, you get to your goal, you get to your optimal fat percentage, you're somebody that's actively living and demonstrating the habits, you're actively sharing, right? Then every time you refer somebody to sign up to the program, and that right now we're doing this for 2018. So right now it's a trial referral program we've created for 2018. You will get one quarter of what they paid. So if they sign up today, I think the price online is £600 or something like that. For that £600, you will get £150. Pretty good, isn't it? So that's what you get after you've done the program. So you will finish in April, and then any people you invite after April, those programs, you will get a quarter of it. And if it works well in 2018, we will continue it in future years. So you guys are going to be the first ones that this is available to. We're going to offer it as well to prior participants who have done it. But you're the first ones that are going to be part of this program. So if you refer somebody now that joins you on this program, you get 10%. And next time you refer 4 people, you get the full price awarded to you, which is brilliant. So ultimately, who we want you to be out there is to be the change you wish to see in the world. And only thing I can say is wishing you the best of challenge. On Saturday, you will get an email. And then for the first 10 days, you'll be like, what do I do? And I will say, go back and check that email. And then you will ask me, Ronnie, where's my meal plans? Where's my training programs? And I will say, hold on, I'm going through the questionnaire. So if you've done all the questionnaires, then great. If you haven't, or if any of your teammates haven't, we go through a kind of batch processing system. Please nudge your teammates to complete the questionnaires. So that's all we had for you today. Are there any questions, Preeti?
Yes, one question.
Yeah.
In the questionnaire, there was a question for the sugar intake.
Mm-hmm.
That we have to check on the app called this MyFitnessPal.
Yeah.
But I could not find that sugar intake this thing.
Okay, I will send you a screenshot of how to check it.
Okay.
But what you have to do is on MyFitnessPal, once you have entered your starting weight, your goal weight, right?
Okay.
If you click on the top row, what I will do is I'll very quickly show you. I'm switching on my camera. Okay, what I will do is let me first end this webinar. And okay, so guys, thanks all for listening into the pre-challenge webinar. I'm now going to address Preeti's question on how to check a sugar level, on how much sugar you need to have in a day. And it's on MyFitnessPal app. You click on the numbers on the top and it will show you. But as I show it to her on video here, this recording will not record video. I'll terminate the recording. And thank you again, once again, for signing up. Congratulations on signing up. And let's speak next week, Thursday, on Webinar 1. Bye for now.